Hello everyone, welcome to Abo Caveman, and thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be going over how to make pine pitch glue from the pine tree, from the sap of the pine tree. And pine pitch has a lot of uses. It's very good for fire starting, in my opinion. That'll be a later video. But the main reason is a waterproof glue that's very strong. So strong they used to sail boats across the ocean. All the wooden boats that came across the Atlantic to the United States were held together with pitch glue. And what we have here, obviously you're going to need a pine tree. I've heard that it can be made from many other evergreens such as spruce and cedars, but I've got a pine tree and what appears to be woodpecker pecking on here to get beetles, I assume, and it's caused if this thing will focus, it's caused the pine to ooze out, or the pitch to ooze out, and I've got like little dry pieces, and then I've got areas such as over here where you can see that the pitch is still wet. But I'm going to gather both dry and wet, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes and show you how to make pitch glue. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, welcome back. We collected our pine sap, or I collected the pine sap today in the woods. You guys were with me whenever I did that on the tree where the woodpeckers had wounded the pine tree, and I managed to get decent amount. It's not a lot, but a decent amount. I think we can make some pitch glue with it. And so first thing you're going to need is obviously a pine tree, cup of coffee. Excuse me. No, just joking about the coffee. But pine tree, charcoal, if you'll zoom in here. Please forgive the mess at my house. But you're going to need some charcoal. And charcoal obviously comes from fire. And you need about the same amount of charcoal, 50-50, as pine sap. So, and then you're going to need a container that you don't mind ruining, that you can also heat up on the stove. Soup, this is a tuna can. Soup cans work real well. And but I mean, it can be anything that you don't care about ruining. It'll be your dedicated pine pitch maker from now on out. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into powder. Now the way you would do this in the wilderness setting is I would take a flat rock and lay this on a flat rock and take another rock and powder it up. A mortar and pestle works the best, obviously, but in a survival situation you're not going to have that, so you just find a flat rock and another rock to powder it up. And in a survival situation, you're not going to have this. My wife will kill me. This is a coffee grinder. Now it's a charcoal grinder. What you're looking for, oh nice. Oh wow. Okay, well I would say that it's a fine powder. I possibly got it too fine, but what you're looking for is a very fine charcoal powder. Okay, that's what's going to make the pine sap hard. Now there's tons of YouTube videos on making pine pitch, and there's tons of different recipes. A lot of people like to use manure, different types, deer, rabbit, cow, and they mix that with the pine pitch, and what they're getting out of that is the fiber, and the fiber is just a binding agent. The charcoal is actually going to make it hard. So I'm just going to use charcoal today because I couldn't find any manure in the woods. I have used it before, but I've made good pitch glue without it. So you don't have to have manure to make pitch glue. It's nice, but you don't have to. So I'm going to take my pine pitch, my pine sap, and I'm going to put it in my tuna can. Now there's going to be impurities in here, and I've already removed as many as you possibly can, and you're going to want to do that too as well. You don't want, like, I mean, you're going to have some regardless, some wood fibers and stuff, but remove as many as you can. Okay. Now, put that on the stove and turn the heat on. Obviously, you're not going to have one of these in a wilderness survival situation either. But, hey, guess what? We're not surviving. We're doing a YouTube video on making pine pitch. Okay. Now, I've got the heat on full blast for right now. You're not going to want to stay there at that point, but I'm just getting the can warmer faster, and it's already warm, so I'm going to turn the heat down. And turn the light off so you guys can see it. I don't know if that helps any, but let's cut right here, and I'll be back with you guys in a few minutes when this is more liquefied. I forgot one of the tools. You're going to need a stick to put all your pine pitch on. It makes a little glue stick. And don't get your heat too hot, but it's pretty good. Still got to get this ball melted here. This little ball is being stubborn. This is extremely flammable, and you're still running in this one right here is not really bad, but it's incredibly strong waterproof glue that you can put together with. So, one ball, kind of pretty stubborn. All right, now when your pine sap is a liquid like it is now, you want to take about 50%, 50-50, and add it to the pine sap. And you're gonna mix it all together. And like I said, a lot of people use poo. It smells so good with the pine sap. I bet you pine sap and poo don't smell as good. But this should work fine. You're more likely to have charcoal in a survival situation than poo. But if you can add poo to it, that works fine too. Alright, now I'm going to try to get it all to go to one side. And I'm gonna take it off here and start letting it cool, and we'll be back with you in a few minutes. Now, pine pitch cools really fast, so when it starts to, if it gets too hard on you, like mine almost has, then you just add it back on the stove and loosen it up again. But you're going to need a little stick like this to apply your pine pitch to before it gets rock hard. And we're just making wilderness glue sticks. That's what we're doing here. And as soon as it cools off some more, when I can touch it, I can mold it with my hand and make it look all nice and pretty. But you can see like how hard that is on my knife. Wow, some of it's rock hard already and I can't get it off there. But once again, you can put it back on the stove and loosen it up if you have to. Woo! So yeah, the stuff is already rock hard. I'll just put that back down there on the stove and let it loosen up again. But just mold it nice and round. And there you go, a pitch glue stick. And when you want to use this, you'll just heat it up. You can heat it up with a lighter. It's usually the way I end up doing it. You can heat it up over your stove, and whatever you have to glue, you just dab it on to whatever you have to glue, and there you go. Please remember to like and subscribe. And you saw it here on Avo Caveman, how to make pine pitch glue. Have a nice day.